All right, who in here likes ice cream?
Yay.
I thought that might be the case. So let me ask you the next loaded question. What goes into ice cream?
Milk.
Milk. Very good. What else?
Salt.
Salt? Does salt go in the ice cream itself? Does ice cream taste salty?
No.
What do you know about salt in ice cream?
It sort of preserves it.
Preserves it.
Makes it stay cold.
Makes it stay cold. Oh, let's come back to that in a minute. Let's think first, though, of just the materials that go in the ice cream itself that we're going to eat. Milk is one of them.
Sugar.
Sugar is another one. So here's the milk. I've got this milk in a little baggie. And I'm just going to not really be very fancy about measuring, but I'm going to put a little bit of sugar in there. And what was the other thing you said? Flavoring. I have some vanilla flavoring, so I'll put that in my baggie as well. And is that it? What's missing is it needs to be iced in some way. Christian, I would like you to just put one finger in that glass and another finger. Well, no, let's do this. Let's do the right hand in the right glass just to be easy on yourself there. Okay, just sink those guys on there all the way to the bottom. One of these glasses has salt in the ice, rock salt in particular, and the other glass has just ice and no rock salt. The one on the right has rock salt. The one on the left has no rock salt. Christian, already, is it possible for you to tell us which one you think is colder? Which one's colder?
The one with the salt.
The one with the salt on the right is colder. So one of the pieces of this particular activity is to spend some time exploring salt and ice mixtures. Looking for different temperature variances. What is the temperature variance, if you can find it? Is there a ratio of amount of salt to amount of ice that's best? So on and so forth. By the way, this whole activity is one that's been developed by the Lawrence Hall of Science in Berkeley, California, which is a wonderful hands-on science museum and the source of some really good curriculum ideas. And this particular one has to do with making ice cream, but there's probably a week or two's worth of activities total that you can take advantage of. But I know most of you have ice cream on your mind now, and I've got this little baggie up here, and I've got basically all the ingredients for the ice cream, but we're missing the ice and the rock salt part. The way this is going to be done is we're going to take a large baggie and fill it with ice and rock salt. You have the rock salt at your table already, but while you're getting your ice cream bag in place, I'll come around and give you some more ice. What I'd like you to do, and we're going to shorten this up for the purpose of our activity here today, is I'd like you to decide yourself how to set up the flavorings and the sort of amount of sugar or sweetness that you want. But I want you to use about the same amount of milk. Just about that much milk. It's about an inch worth of milk in the bottom of your baggie. And then you can decide if it's 1 scoop of sugar or 2 scoops of sugars or 3 scoops of sugars. And you can decide if it's 1 drop of flavoring or 2 drops of flavoring. You have 2 choices, vanilla and strawberry at your table. And then you're going to want to very carefully seal this and be sure it's sealed very tightly. And then working in pairs or groups of 3, you're going to take your baggie and put it inside the big baggie with the ice. And then we're going to start shaking. How long do you think it'll take? All right, let's go back and revisit this ice and salt mixture for a minute. Ice by itself freezes 0 degrees centigrade or 32 degrees Fahrenheit. The rock salt does what to that ice mixture? It made it colder. How do you suppose it does that? Would you sprinkle rock salt all over that ice? Be bold. There we go, that's fine. Okay. All right, Christian, if you can just put your initials on that bag and we'll be ready to go. We'll pass this pen around so you can all put your initials on the bag. And the reason for that is we're putting our ice cream all in the same ice and salt mixture. We want to be sure we can get our particular ice cream back out again. All right, Christian. Into the experimental ice and salt mixture bag we go. Sink it down in there. There's the next one. And the next one.
And the strong mix.
And finally, and now we seal the bag, and you'll all be doing this the same with your own bag. Kind of squeeze that air out as best you can. In fact, I even get bolder than that. Sometimes I'll do it like an instant freeze-dry kind of bag. I learned that camping, so I wouldn't have to carry all that air around with me. Then you're going to use a T-shirt or a towel or the gloves at your various locations and wrap it around that bag so that you can mix up that ice around your ice cream and start the shaking process.
down to be 10.
One great experiment would be to just try to make ice cream in a bag full of ice only. And how long does it take to shake that? And we were talking a little bit as we were shaking about doing that in a hand crank ice cream maker. If you forget to put that salt in, you're cranking and cranking and cranking, and it comes out soupy like Brittany's ice cream over here. The amounts of sugar and flavoring, and even to some degree the amount of milk, although we tried to keep that relatively constant, is also another experimental factor for you. And there's actually little charts that you can make and compare the amounts of sugar and the amounts of flavoring. In your own group, you could have different levels of sugaring and flavoring and then decide which one you think is the best balanced ice cream. And then the actual mixture of rock salt and ice itself, the amount of rock salt, the amount of ice, how much time it takes.